Hi, my name is Skylar Ramirez, Master Trainer with YogaFit Training Systems Worldwide. Welcome to your Yoga for Cancer Care training. This master class uses a chair and a couple of blocks. The blocks are completely optional. However, I do highly recommend them as they can help to adjust the alignment on the legs and possibly improve overall circulation in the lower part of the body. I do have yoga mats underneath my chair today. This is a precaution just in case the floor is slippery to prevent any slipping of the chair on the floor. So you are welcome to do this practice without yoga mats under your chair, just staying aware of where you might have some tipping points and how much pressure we're putting into the chair to avoid any accidents. You'll see that I also have a second chair off to the side in this practice. We will have an opportunity today to demonstrate some other postures that may traditionally be done on the floor. However, we want to make those postures accessible from a seated position in a chair. So thank you for being here, and let's get started. Let's start seated comfortably in the chair in our expression of a seated mountain pose. Let's take our yoga blocks, either one or both, underneath the soles of the feet. And just to give you a side view of this, when we don't have the blocks, usually the knee line is a little lower than the hip line, and in some cases, depending on the proportions in our body, the knee might be very low, causing the seat of the chair to push up onto the backs of the legs and maybe even affecting circulation and nerve communication in a negative way. So we're using the yoga blocks under the feet in an effort to get the knees in alignment with the hip or even a little bit higher, so we eliminate any excess pressure behind the legs from the seat of the chair. And we're also able to re-angle the femur bone back into the hips, possibly creating a little more comfort in that space. Bringing our feet onto the blocks, we can scoot just a little bit away from the back of the chair, clearing out that space so that the lungs, the kidneys, the adrenal glands can open up a little bit, knowing at any time that we could scoot back and maybe receive just a bit more support from the chair. Let's begin by turning the palms up, rolling the shoulders down and back, becoming aware of just where we are in the body today, noticing any parts of the body that might feel a little achy, any places that are sore or a little uncomfortable, simply acknowledging those places that we might want to practice a little more loving kindness with today. We might want to even close the eyes and begin breathing into those places. We could even point to or put a gentle healing touch onto those places. Again, just sending loving kindness and healing breaths into those parts of the body that might be healing today. Committing to our practice, breathing, feeling, listening to the body, letting go of any judgment, expectation, or competition, staying in the present moment. Noticing if it feels better to breathe in through the nose or the mouth, exhale from the nose or the mouth, allowing the body to move the breath through us in any comfortable way. Let's set an intention for healing in this practice. Let's try filling the lungs from the belly all the way up to the heart. And then exhale, relax the shoulders. Relax the belly. We could inhale big, flaring out the nostrils. And then exhale with a sigh. Maybe a couple more. Keeping that big inhale. And those sighs of relief, we might sense the shoulders, the ribs, and the chest moving a little more. Now, if you like, feel free to add in a little bit of arm movement with this. Having our hands in front of us as we inhale, let's scoop the breath up. And then exhale, take it away. Circling the arms a few times, rhythmically with each inhale and each exhale. A couple more of these, moving with our body's own natural rhythm. Just feeling as if we're just maybe breathing in this newfound open space. Let's practice alternate nostril breathing today, Nadi Shodhana. There are several different ways that this breathing technique can be done. Let's explore a very simple stripped down version of it. From here, let's inhale through both nostrils. Lift your right or left hand, close off the right nostril. Exhale left. Inhale both. Close off the left nostril. Exhale right. Let's continue to alternate on the exhale, inhaling through both. And then exhale left. Easy does it. Alternating only on the exhale. We could even lower the head and close the eyes. We're moving towards 10 rounds of this breath today. So this could be a minute or two of mindful breathing. Let's do one more on each side. Finishing by exhaling on the right. Inhaling through both nostrils. And exhale. Let's add in some flowing arms. Inhale, raising the arms up towards the sky. And then exhale, taking them around and back, flying arms. One breath, one movement. Moving through any comfortable range of motion. Maybe even shaping the movement with the breath a little more, counting to 3 as we inhale, then 3, 2, 1 as we exhale. and welcome to close the eyes, maybe even envisioning rays of bright white light moving out from the fingertips. And every time we inhale and exhale, we're creating this protective auric field around the body, from the breath through the fingertips, all around us. An energy of preservation, healing, and protection. We could keep these circles with the arms at center or add in a small twist on the exhale, allowing our hand to rest on the seat or on the chair behind us. Inhale, arms coming up overhead. Exhale, little twist over to the other side, hand to the seat or onto the back of the chair. Matching movement to breath. Inhale, and then exhale. Let's match this to the breath one more time on each side. So feeling that there's plenty of time to even this up for our own bodies on left and right. When you feel that it's evened up for your body, let's meet at center. Exhale the hands down. Relax the hands anywhere you like. Let's take a moment, lower the chin, and maybe let the gaze rest past your nose and past your cheeks. Become aware of an energy between the belly button and the spine. And maybe see that energy like a little gold scrubby sponge, like a little SOS pad or a little kitchen sponge. Identifying the sensation of energy between the belly button and spine. Find that energy where that little scrubber would be. And try to move that little scrubber up and down behind the belly button. Maybe even bringing it up under the ribs. Then releasing it down. Coming to center, taking it side to side. We may feel it. Simply even visualizing it is equally effective with this cleansing exercise. Just sort of scrubbing out the energy in the abdomen. Imagining that we're scrubbing out the stomach, the intestines, maybe even making a figure 8 type shape with that scrubbing energy. Just a little more. Moving it up and down again. We like to call this a baby naoli, just a baby cleansing technique in the abdomen. A little bit side to side again. And then eventually refining that movement, making it a little smaller and coming to any still point. Softening the energy in the abdomen. Let's breathe down into the belly. And then exhale, soften. Just a few more deep diaphragmatic breaths. Let's walk our feet close to touching Inhaling and sweeping the arms up overhead. Exhale, swan diving hands down towards the thighs and maybe coming forward, maybe even pressing the stomach on the thigh. If we're noticing any discomfort in the abdomen here, we can always open the knees wide and let the belly rest between the thighs, creating some space for comfort. As we inhale, let's lift through the neck and the throat, pulling the elbows in tight. Just a gentle and healthy expression of cobra. Exhale, pull the ribs in and back and gently round the spine. So knees can be wide or they can be really narrow or anywhere in between. Let's come forward. Inhale, belly towards the thighs or between the thighs. Pulling up through the ribs, opening up the throat. We could even look right and left just a little bit. Let's pull the elbows in tight by the waist. Pushing into the thighs to lift just a little more. Cobra expression. Inhaling in place. Exhale, rounding the spine back, dropping the chin in towards the chest. Breathe down into the low back, through the middle back and upper back. Finding the next inhale, let's come forward. Belly towards the thighs, elbows in. Inhale, pulling up through the ribs, opening up the throat. You could always turn the head a little bit or even roll the neck a little bit. One more inhale. Exhale, deep rounding in the spine. Becoming aware of the breath along the sides of the spine. Feeling as the breath moves effortlessly into the backs of the lungs. Inhaling to the low back, the middle back, the upper back. When you're ready, slowly bring this to neutral. Let's inhale, sweeping the arms up and overhead. Exhale, sweep the arms back and maybe lean forward, reaching the hands towards the back of the chair or even down onto the seat of the chair for our chest expansion. As we inhale, either pulling up on the seat and lengthening through the collarbones, or maybe leaning forward and pulling up through the ribs. Shoulders continue to press down and back away from the ears. We could keep the throat a little bit open or relax the chin, Jalandhara Bandha, throat lock. Let's exaggerate the breath in the chest, feeling as if the heart functions like a single lung in the center of the chest. One more big inhale. Exhale, relaxing to neutral. Let's open the knees wide for some moon flowers. Having the toes out and the heels in. Inhale, reaching the arms up and overhead. Exhale, drawing the elbows into the waist and leaning forward just a little bit. Inhale, rising up, big breath in. Option to touch the thumbs overhead. And then exhale, coming forward. Moonflower flow. Bringing the elbows in close to the ribs as if we're trying to pump or squeeze the tissue under the armpits. imagining you're trying to hold on to maybe a phone or a briefcase under the armpit, anchoring that energy. Inhale, open up. Exhale, elbows squeeze in. We can keep this moonflower flow or shift a little more and sweep the arms just in front of the knees, keeping the back long, head higher than the heart higher than the hips, sunflower flow. Now, every once in a while, notice which hand is dominant when it sweeps in front. So as I sweep forward, noticing the left hand, inhale, rising up, switching that out, sweeping forward, noticing the right hand, continuing to alternate the hands as we sweep. Inhaling through nose or mouth, and maybe continuing to exhale from the throat. Option to close the eyes, tuning in to what parts of the body might be requiring the most effort, and noticing if there are any parts of the body that are feeling effortless in the flow. Let's do 1 or 2 more of these, just whatever feels right for your body. Rounding out that last sunflower expression, let's place the hands on the thighs, practicing 3 lion's breaths. Inhaling through the nose or mouth. Exhale, tongue out. We could always hold it here and maybe practice a few shoulder rolls back. As that roll gets bigger, creating just a gentle twist, very subtle rotation between the belly button and the spine. Again, just gently scrubbing out the energy in the gut region. Let's do a couple more on each side. When you're ready, come to center. Let's slowly bring the feet in. And from here, if we find it accessible, we may want to grab one of our yoga blocks and place it between the knees and the thighs, keeping one block on the floor under the feet, keeping the ball of the foot on the yoga block so the heels can hang off a little bit, having our block between the knees and thighs. Let's place the hands comfortable anywhere near you. Inhale, the thighs are soft. At the top of the breath, squeeze that block and exhale, pursing the lips. Relax the thighs on the inhale. Top of the breath, squeeze the block and purse the lips, like blowing bubbles or whistling. Releasing on the inhale, contracting on the exhale. Let's keep this rhythm. Releasing on the inhale as we breathe in, the body is opening and expanding. And as we exhale, we contract, squeezing the knees in towards the block. If you'd like to add the arms into this, feel free to layer onto this flow. With the knees relaxed, as we inhale, the arms come up and overhead, lean back just a little bit. And then exhale, squeeze the block, circle the arms, leaning forward, arms reaching out or palms up, chair flow. Inhale, thighs soft, reaching up, reaching from the armpits, maybe even leaning back. And then exhale, squeezing the block, circling the arms, Utkatasana. Inhaling, arms up and overhead, Utthita Tadasana, extended mountain. Exhale, squeezing the block, Utkatasana. Once we feel this rhythm of expansion and contraction is a little more familiar in the body, we could always experiment with closing the eyes. Vision is an incredible blessing, but it could also be a distraction sometimes. So noticing if when we close our eyes, can we become more aware of body sensation? And if those sensations are really uncomfortable or painful in any way, open the eyes and notice if that makes it feel better. We can practice with the eyes opened or closed. Let's do one more chair flow. Inhaling, bring the arms up and overhead. Hold it here. Squeeze the block and exhale. Chin down. Pause. On the count of 3, act surprised. 1, 2, 3. Navel in and up under the ribs. Just a baby Uddiyana Bandha, belly cleansing. Exhale, release both arms. Let's take our right arm straight up. Pushing down into the right hip, reaching through the armpit. We might even take our left hand across and pull up on the rib, opening up the side trunk of the body, breathing into the upper right lung. We could look up, a little bit of a squeezing of the lymph nodes in the neck. We could look ahead, or even over the left shoulder. One more big breath. Exhale, relax. Inhaling our left arm up and overhead. Bringing the weight down into the left hip. Opening from the armpit. Right hand comes around to pull up on the rib, encouraging just a little more openness in the side trunk of the body. Again, we could look up, ahead, or over our shoulder. Breathing into the upper left armpit. One last big breath here, inhaling, reaching, and then exhale, relax the arms down. Inhaling, both arms up. Exhale, squeeze the block. Pause. 1, 2, 3, surprise. Navel in and up. Uddiyana Bandha, reaching from the ribs and the armpits. release. Let's take our yoga block and place it down on the floor. We might want to keep the block under both feet as we turn to the right edge of our chair. We could always stay here with the legs open and the knees almost at 90 degrees, or we might want to take that outside leg and bring it down onto our supporting yoga block, still feeling fully supported with our body and our inside hip on the chair. We can tuck or untuck that back foot. You can open the hip or keep it in, just noticing what feels best for your body today. Keeping my back hand on the chair for support. I'm holding on to the back seat, but you can also put it down lower. Let's take our outside arm, inhaling that arm straight up overhead and maybe even leaning a little bit back behind us. Inhaling to center. Exhaling, gentle twist, twisting towards the back of our chair. Option to look over the shoulder. One more big breath here. When you're ready, slowly coming to center. Let's inhale both arms up. And then exhale, swan dive, hands onto the front thigh. We could have the legs open really wide, maybe letting the ribs hang on the insides of the thighs. Option to walk the hands down a little bit if we feel comfortable in the chair, and relaxing the head and the neck. No matter where we are, moving the breath along the back sides of the lungs. Let's slowly lengthen through the head and the spine, walking the hands up. Opening up into Warrior Two. At this point, we could always take our leg and stretch it out if that feels right for our bodies, or keep that right angle. Any combination of support with the blocks is welcome here. Looking towards our front or extended arm, let's turn the palm up. Inhale, reaching that arm up and overhead, and then resting our hand behind us towards the chair. Reverse warrior. One more big inhale. Exhaling to side angle, bringing our elbow or hand onto that front thigh, and then sweeping the top arm up and maybe even overhead. Reaching from the armpit and rib. One more big breath here. If you want, open and close that top hand just a few times. When you're ready, slowly lower that top arm. Let's come to center, repositioning our feet, finding a centered point for the body. Let's take a few breaths here to center the energy. Inhaling both arms up and overhead. Big breath in. Exhale, sweep the hands back. Again, option to close the eyes. Option to count the breath, 3 count rhythm. Take your time rounding out at least one more full inhale, full exhale. Let's angle ourselves to the other side of our chair for our Warrior One series. We might keep both feet on the floor like so, or we could angle the body a little more, placing a knee on a block. The knee could be a little bit in front of us, directly under the hip, or even a little bit behind the hip. We may tuck or untuck the back toe, holding on to the back seat of the chair. Let's inhale, bringing the outside arm up and overhead. Big breath in. Exhaling, gentle twist. Maybe looking back over our shoulder or keeping the chin neutral. Slowly unwind from the navel, inhaling both arms coming up and overhead. Exhaling, swan diving to our front leg. Maybe the belly is close onto the thigh for a little energetic flushing, or the leg could be really white and the abdomen can go between the thighs. Let's round the spine a little bit, soften the upper back, and find the breath behind your heart. To safely come up, let's lengthen the spine, using our hands to gently walk up the leg, opening into Warrior Two. We might open one leg a little more, so from Warrior One to Warrior Two, or we could even straighten that leg out if it feels comfortable on the hip. Reaching the arms out dynamically, looking past our front fingertips. Let's turn the front palm up, lengthening straight up towards the sky, using the back hand down on the chair. Breathing into the upper portion of the shoulder and the lung. One more big breath here. Exhaling to side angle, elbow or hand to the thigh, shoulders away from the ears. Option to sweep that arm up and maybe even overhead. Feeling the extension move from the armpit away from the hip joint. Any time, adding in just some gentle opening and closing with the hand, making a fist, releasing, gentle pumping action. One more big breath here. Exhale, releasing the arms. Let's take our time to bring the legs and the knees to a more neutral position. Centering the body with the breath once more. 3 inhales, 3 exhales. Imagine the whole body like a sponge, soaking up the breath. One more full inhale, full exhale. Let's come to a still point. Take the ear to one shoulder. Let's turn the opposite palm up, looking down and in towards the chest. Drawing that elbow back, and maybe just breathing into that space between the ear and the shoulder. When you're ready, roll along the chin line. Let's pause at neutral, lowering our palm to the leg, lifting the head, bringing our ear over to the other shoulder, gently moving the chin in, turning the opposite palm up, and gently drawing that elbow back. Shoulder dropping away from the ear. Jaw is soft. Exhaling from the throat. When you're ready, coming to center, let's roll along the chin line and lift from center. Turning the head left and right, just checking in. For the next few poses through the end of class and meditation, I'm inviting you to use a second chair in your practice. So for this portion, if you notice that anyone might need a little bit of assistance here, please rearrange the chairs in your room for your students. I'm bringing my chair directly to the wall. And my second chair in front of me. We will not need the blocks at this time. Repositioning the chair so that we can comfortably lengthen out the legs. Depending on what kind of chair you have, you may be able to slip your feet out under the seat. From here, lengthening the spine, let's inhale. Option to turn the palms back, pressing to the wall behind us. Walking the hands up the wall to lengthen the upper back and the spine, creating just a little more of an upper back bend, keeping the chin relaxed. The more we walk the hands up the wall, the closer the collarbones and the sternum come up to the chin, creating a seated version of restorative fish pose. Stretching the intestines and the stomach, opening up Manipura. One more big inhale. Exhale, relax the shoulders, relax the arms. Let's bend our left knee, and we might have our foot just at the edge of the chair, as long as the ball of the foot is on the chair. So I have my heel just a little bit off the chair, From here, let's inhale the arms up and overhead. Exhale, twisting towards that bent knee. Maybe resting our shoulder back against the wall. Focusing more on the twist through the navel, swiveling at the waist. We could always exhale. 1, 2, 3, surprise. Navel in and up, and maybe turn just a little more. Just a fraction more movement. Releasing any tension in the belly. Take your time, come around to center. We can open up that bent knee, a lot like a seated tree expression, to get some openness through the groin region right here. If you'd like to experiment with crossing the leg, maybe the ankle over the shin, or even the ankle up over the thigh, we could move this into an expression of figure 4, seated cradle the baby, or seated pigeon. To experiment with that seated cradle the baby today, I recommend keeping the outside arm around the back of the leg, and maybe take your free hand and scoop under the ankle, lifting the leg in our seated cradle the baby. We could add in just some very gentle rocking here. Pausing for a moment, soften the energy in the pelvis. Imagine that the breath begins in the hips, and as we inhale, the body receives the breath through the pelvis, through the hips, moving up the spine. Inhale, and then exhale, the breath pours out from the throat. Let's try 2 more big breaths like that, holding our hips stretch through the hips, out from the throat. 1 more. When you're ready, softly release the bent knee. Gently rest the hip, shake out the knees. Let's bend our other knee. Again, the heel might be a little bit off the chair, as long as we keep the ball of the foot on the chair. Let's inhale the arms up. Exhale, gentle twist towards that bent knee. Maybe even feeling the shoulder blade resting by the wall. The support of the shoulder blade gives us a lot of opportunity to focus on that rotation between the navel and the spine, that baby nauli scrubbing expression. So maybe finding that little scrubber sponge between the navel and the spine and trying to scrub over into the twist. Dropping the chin, exhale all the way. Surprise breath, 1, 2, 3. Navel in and up, maybe just a little more. Holding it there. The breath might get a little shallow here. One more easy breath. And now exhale, slowly unwinding the spine. Let's open the bent knee, open the thigh. We can hold it here in this tree expression. Maybe even just a gentle massage from the inside knee in towards the groin area. Option to cross the leg over. If you're noticing any tenderness in the knee, flex the foot, flexing the foot so we can stabilize the kneecap and truly isolate the rotation and the stretch up by the groin and the inner hip, where we have some lymph nodes. Taking our outside arm around the thigh, taking our free hand under the ankle and calf, and maybe lifting that leg up towards the chest. Gentle rock side to side for cradle the baby. Pausing at any time to bring more awareness to the breath. Softening through the pelvis, the low back, and the hips. Receiving the breath through the hips all the way up to the heart. Exhale with a sigh. When it feels right for you, let's gently set the bent knee down, extending both legs out. We can shake out the knees and the thighs. Maybe even rotate the feet and the knees out and in a little bit. Relax the hands, the neck, the head. Let's get comfortable for final relaxation and meditation. I'm bringing my chair a little closer in today. This way I'm able to meditate with my legs crossed in sort of a expression of butterfly with a little bit of sukhasana. So not quite butterfly, not here, but also not quite easy seated all the way in. So there is this element of pulling in, but there's still this openness between butterfly and sukhasana. I'm resting my shoulders and my head back near the wall. And if you know that you have, let's say, an extra blanket or a pillow nearby, we could always put that behind the neck so that we're able to relax the head back while maintaining Jalandhara Bandha. So keeping the chin either at neutral or just a little lower, enough so that an egg could roll off the head. Coming into any easy position for our final meditation. Bringing awareness to the breath in the body. Let's first notice as each moment is passing, at what point do we feel completely satisfied with our breath? Pausing in that moment to embrace satisfaction and then exhale, let it go. Breathing in just to the point of satisfaction, just to the point of contentment, santosha, then letting it go. Parigraha. Imagine that you're looking down past the tip of your nose. And let's see the breath all around us like a beautiful blue light, a mist of radiant light. As we inhale, through each nostril, this blue light moves up into the middle of the brain. And then as we exhale, it splits out the temples. Breathing into the nostrils, single rays of blue light becoming one big light at the center of the brain. And then exhale, the light splits from the sides of the head or from the temples. Let's take at least a quiet minute or two to observe this light cleansing through the mind space, allowing this light to remove any beliefs or perceptions that could be inhibiting our ability to heal. Continuing to breathe easy, seeing this blue light flushing through the mind space. Take the tip of your tongue and touch it to your gum line behind the two front teeth. This will naturally help the muscles to relax in the jaw, separating the bottom lip away from the top lip. We might mindfully want to make space here so that the bottom lip, the very middle of the bottom lip, relaxes, creating enough space for one of those small coffee stirring sticks to just rest in the middle of the bottom lip. As we soften the jaw, soften the low back as well. We may bring the hands together at the heart, pressing the thumbs towards the center of the chest. Let's deepen our breath, subtly awakening the physical body, moving from our meditation into the more physical body, inviting the breath to bridge body and mind. We may want to inhale and let the shoulders rise a little bit. And then exhale, drop the shoulders. A couple more like this. From wherever you are, we can soften the body and mind, Breathing in a deep, unifying breath together in closing of our practice. From here, we can bow together in closing. Namaste, everyone. And take your time moving, depending on where you are. We may want to assist our students in moving chairs out of the way, bringing our feet to the floor, grounding through the soles of the feet again. And then at your leisure, when you're ready, slowly bearing weight down into the feet and coming up into standing. Give yourself plenty of time to move in any natural way. Thank you for joining me today in our chair practice from our Yoga for Cancer Care training with YogaFit Training Systems Worldwide. Again, my name is Skyla Ramirez, and I hope to see you at one of our conferences or trainings around the world, or even in another online training. Namaste, everyone.